I'm trying to get the big picture here from your perspective. What do you think's going on here? Because we used to get documents 5-6 years ago where the military was training to take on the Tea Party, and people couldn't even believe they were real. Now it's just all over news like it's a good thing. Why, the new threat isn't Al-Qaeda, it's the veteran next door. He's going to bomb the police department anytime now. Now, what do you think's going on?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I just got off the phone with with an on-duty officer whose name will remain anonymous, and he's very concerned about this. And what in our discussion, it really encapsulated what is going on. He said any dissent by within the ranks today is tantamount to you being purged yourself, or your performance is downrated, and you're out. You're out of the service. The problem that is occurring is by making a more compliant military, and purposely doing this in order to make us more acceptable on the world scene and not appearing to be the badasses on the scene in the world. It has made us become more of less able to carry out national security responsibilities. And as a consequence, we're cutting back tremendously in our military today. And as a result, it is prompting countries such as China and Russia and other wannabes, superpower wannabes, to fill that power vacuum around the world. And what we're seeing is that as a result, countries such as Japan, Korea, countries that we have alliances with and to protect, are saying, well, we can no longer trust the United States to protect us, and we're going to go our own way. And as a result, them going their own way with Japan and Korea, for example, with the industrial capability to go nuclear and to build up their own military independent of our protection, it creates a more dangerous environment worldwide as a result. And so this is going to be the consequence of what we're seeing. They can no longer rely upon us and the protections we've been giving them, and which has actually helped us in terms of our national security, and it's creating for a more unstable world as a result.
And so what you're saying is people are afraid to even ask questions or say anything, a bunch of robots, and then basically morale falls apart, and then everybody just basically sits in a corner and just salutes the dear leader.
Well, as they go up in the political, as they go up in the officer corps, approaching colonel, general, and what have you, it becomes much more political. And as a result, they're just going to stand up and salute, and that's just going to and that's how they're going to be able to succeed. It becomes much more politicized. The officer corps has become much more politicized because they want to be able to please the dear leader and be able to advance as a consequence. But what does it create for us? It creates a hollow fighting force as a consequence.
What do you make of the peace deals with Iran? And I'm all for not having a war with Iran and Syria. But then Iran has their top generals say we have sleeper cells in the U.S. And I went and checked it. He actually said that. And then they send ships over. Why would they engage in provocations when they started getting what they wanted?
Because they've read what I just said. They read that we're weak, we're not going to do anything, just like the United States didn't do anything towards Syria. And Obama has made the point that we're going to negotiate. As a consequence, the leadership in Tehran have read those tea leaves, and they see that we're not going to do anything as a consequence. And so they're going to fill that vacuum. Plus, you got to keep in mind this is all coming out on the the 35th anniversary of the Iranian Revolution was in 1979. So there's a lot of bravado that is going on right now as well. But you're right. We've seen expressions of this in the past few weeks, in which they're threatening, and even though they're trying to get us to convince us that we need to lessen sanctions and to open up to them, and again, it's just for posturing purposes, and they know the United States isn't going to do anything about it.
Don't you think at some level it could be a suckering Iran in? I mean, is Iran really stupid enough to think it's going to help them to put ships off our coast?
Well, they'll go ahead and put the ships off the coast, but again, it's for show force.
I know it's a complete joke. I mean, obviously it's a joke. It just seems it's just crazy. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're going to do it. They'll probably use countries in Latin America for basing. But again, it's a show. It's a show, and they know the United States isn't going to do anything about it.
As you know, one of the deputy secretaries of defense over in England, or Ministry of Defense, came out a few weeks ago and said there doesn't even seem to be a strategy with Obama. And I see all these ambassadors they're appointing who brag, I don't speak the language, I don't know how any of this works, and I don't care. I mean, what scares me is I'm just a radio talk show host doing this 19 years, but when I see these politicians on C-SPAN, Obama people, they know less than I do about most of the topics they're talking about, and I'm not some know-it-all. It seems like a very lazy elite that we've got in charge right now. And I mean the Republican Party as well, trying to commit suicide with the open border situation. I mean, are they trying to do us in like the old Roman Empire? But, I mean, how would you describe the political climate? Because it just seems like it's really like rotten fruit or something.
Well, I don't think foreign policy is this administration's forte. And so they're looking more domestically, and what we're doing internationally is reacting more to events rather than having any long-term strategy. And this is actually hurting us. And even when you look at the appointments that are being made at our ambassadorship, we at least it is something that we need to look more closely to make sure they've at least visited the country and they know something about the countries. The civil service and the ambassadorships and from other countries, like the United Kingdom, what have you, are people who have vast background and experience in what they're going to be covering, and we just don't do that. We have a foreign service that is in a number of other countries, but what's happened is that the Obama administration has increased the percentage of representation with the political appointees, principally his donors, into these high-level positions, and they don't know anything about what they're doing. It's just a step forward for them. There's no commitment, they don't have this burning desire to learn something about the country or to better U.S. foreign policy, and there's no strategy. And I think that this is why you're seeing and hearing complaints from overseas that the United States just no longer has a strategy, and that our standing as a world power is diminishing. And the Obama administration doesn't seem to be doing anything to try to reverse that.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.